Okay, I want to start this one off a little different than I normally start the video. I'm starting something here on this channel, and before I go any further, I want to be honest, why am I doing this? This is primarily for myself. Filming is how I learn and get clarity. If something is just staying in my head, it's half formed. So I decided I'm going to film it with what I'm working on in real time while I am working through it. My main focus right now and for foreseeable future, I would say, will be AI agents, but those real ones. And I will go over what I actually mean about real ones in this video. I will talk about what's coming, in my opinion, what most people are going to miss, and down the road, I will also talk about my AI arc and how I use it to map what's coming. Just to confirm, as before, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm some sort of a guru that knows something and you guys don't know. I'm just the person that's actually doing the work with the camera on. If you want to come along, you're more than welcome. I hope you will enjoy this ride. Let's jump in to my screen. So, let me set this up properly. A lot of people were confused on AI agents last year, same as I was. Demos did look impressive. New things were dropping every week. But the actual experience of using AI in your own work felt, there's no better way of saying, but just like incomplete, half finished, like something was holding off this actual agent of doing big things. And this is what nobody really said clearly at that time, and I think it's worth naming. What got sold as AI workflows in 2025 and the whole wave of automations, the N8N and LLM call combinations, the look what I can do with this prompt inside the pipeline, all of that had a model sitting inside the deterministic system as a step, not as a driver. Model was not figuring out how to solve the problem, it was just told what it needs to do. You ran the workflow, the model did its piece, classified something, summarized something, extracted something, and then the rest was a code that decided what happened next. The experience felt incomplete because it actually was. The model wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. It was doing a small piece of a puzzle. Everything else, the orchestration, the decision, the if this then that, that was still all you. You were putting all the puzzles together. The people who jumped in early at the simpler level, who got their hands dirty with the basic automation and scripting LLM calls into things they already had running, those people built intuition. They did get the reps in. The people who waited for the agent moment, who heard that the word agent was thrown around and figured out they'd come in once that thing is real, they were stalling. Because what they were sold called itself an agent, but didn't actually have any agency in it. I've been watching this coming since late 2024. And I think the moment is here of where agents really are stepping in. But we have to first understand what those agents are. So, the door is cracking, not kicked open. Something quietly changed over the last few months. The model became the driver, not the step inside something else. Actually, the driver. I know it sounds abstract. The concrete version is this: the agent runs the loop. Input comes in, the model reasons about it, calls a tool or tools, gets a result, reasons again, outputs something. And inside that loop, the model is deciding what comes next at every step. This is agency, real agency, not the marketing version that everyone were getting at 2025. And here is the thing, this isn't actually theoretical anymore. It's a commodity infrastructure right now. So let me bring this up. Everyone knows OpenClaw, our friend over here. And everyone have their own thoughts about it. I still have mine that I did voiced before, but the project is massive and picking up the speed. So now, what is OpenClaw? OpenClaw, as everyone knows, is a open source agent built by a guy named Peter. It can run on your laptop or on a VPS. VPS is a cloud computer instance. You don't really need an expensive hardware as you would need for running those fancy LLMs. You still can add a lot of tools to OpenClaw and it will expand the hardware needs, but by default, you don't really. You don't really need a data center. You can run it on your own hardware. You can start with a couple bucks a month and you will have a sovereign personal agent. It can talk to your WhatsApp, Telegram, iMessage, read your email, control your calendar, browses the web, has a persistent memory. This one was a big one. It has a persistent memory that stays there and you're not starting every conversation new. You can write skills for it, or it can write skills for itself. Skills is what it can actually do. OpenAI is backing this project. Peter joined them in February. NVIDIA is sponsoring it and hardening it for enterprise use through their NeMoClaw work. DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is the cloud provider. I personally love using them because they give you a nice mix of everything. And look what they have. DigitalOcean has one-click marketplace deploy. That's what commodity infrastructure actually mean. Not coming soon, not wait for the next release. End of April 2026, right now. You can have one running by tonight. This is the door cracking. The personal agent layer just became commodity, real, accessible, sovereign by default. Depending, that is always a thing, but by default, you can say it's sovereign. Runs on your hardware, knows your stuff, acts on your behalf. If you are someone that really likes this stuff, you can have it done by the weekend. So I'll move this one back. So the personal layer is here. That's one half of what I want to talk about. The other half is what's on the other side of the door. And that's where things are getting really interesting. Project Deal. Project Deal, Anthropic published as an experiment a few days ago, April 24th, 2026. They called it simple, Project Deal. I'll prop this up. I really suggest going in and reading this. It's an extremely interesting use case, I would say. So 69 people, real items in their homes, used books, electronics, whatever they had lying around, $100 budget. Their agents, not them, agents were posting listings, making an offer, counter offering, and closing deals entirely on their behalf. Humans didn't sign off on individual transactions. Agents handled it. In 1 week, those agents closed 186 deals. just over $4,000 in real transactions, real money, real items changing hands. Now, the finding from this experiment that I want you to actually hear: when a strong model negotiated against the weaker model, the stronger one got systematically a better deal. That's the part interesting, but that's not the part that should land. And here's what should land. People whose agents got worse deals, they didn't notice it. They reported the same level of satisfaction that everyone else had. They thought their agent did fine. They didn't see what they were losing. Let me say what that actually means. This isn't AI helps you shop better. That's not the story. The story is agent finds agent on your behalf, negotiating with each other, then buying, working out the terms, closing deals without you in a loop on individual transactions. The whole search result, ad targeting, this is what the algorithm thinks you want, internet type that we all were living in, starts to losing oxygen. There's no better way of saying it. Most of the choosings moves into agent-to-agent space. The interface between you and the world becomes your agent. Think about it. You can deploy OpenClaw or whatever agents, the big models from Anthropic, OpenAI, Google. I bet you they will have specific agents where you can just start going in and actually doing shopping. I know OpenAI does it, but I mean like on a much bigger scale. They are not going to be going and browsing the internet. They're not going to be targeted by ads. And this is like this experiment should alarm everyone who thinks otherwise. And this is what I was waiting on to happen since 2024. The technology just had to become a bit better. And the asymmetry in that world is going to be real, the one that we are going in. Better agents equal better outcomes. Worse agent equal worse outcome. The thing is, you won't even notice it. You will just see the transaction done. And just to put it simply, this is a different kind of economy that we are used to. And it's not like 5 years away. Anthropic just ran $4,000 off it in a week. Again, go check this out. Extremely interesting case. So now, here's the thing most people miss about this. Two completely different things are about to share the same word. Personal agent and business grade agent. Same word, different animals. And let me define both. This is why I started this video. I wanted to really make it sink. A personal agent, the OpenClaw kind I just showed you, runs on your hardware, knows your stuff, acts on your behalf. It's real, it's accessible, and it's genuinely worth building if you have, this type of mind and you like tinkering. If something breaks, it's annoying. You fix, you move on. That's the stakes are personal. The recovery is personal. The whole thing is personal. The worst can happen, well, bad, but maybe your identity will be lost, or you can lose some funds if you have some credit cards or some crypto happening with the agent. But that's contained into one person problem. This is the layer that just became a commodity. If you're a tinkerer, again, you will love this. Personal use, personal stakes, personal recovery from personal failures. Worth your time. Build one, have fun with it. Business grade agents is a different animal entirely. It serves real customers, transacts real costs, can fail without consequences. Customers depend on it, money depend on it. Sometimes, even compliances will be depending on it. And underneath it sits a layer that most people don't realize even exists. Things like eval harness, audit trail, deterministic middleware, observability, data sovereignty, compliance posture, incident response. Each one of those is real specialized work, not a feature you flip on, not something a marketplace template gives you, and architectural commitments. I'm not going to dissect each layer in this video. That will have its own conversation and much more deeper one. But what I want to do is I want to plant a seed here as this layer exists, but no one markets it because it will be very hard to tell you it's simple, you should just build it. Again, a personal agent breaking is annoying. A business agent breaking is a transactions going wrong, customers harmed, compliance hit, real money lost. Your reputation is broken now. And that's not a different degree, it's a different category. So here's the implication. Most businesses won't build the second category themselves. Honestly, they shouldn't try. The work involved isn't a weekend project. It's not like a marketplace template, as I said, that you can just spin up for $20. It's a specialized architecture work that someone qualified needs to do for you. Unless something happens and you are that someone who lives in this layer and you know what's going on and what needs to be done. So for tinkerers, if you love this stuff, OpenClaw and tools like that are awesome. Go play, build something for yourself. Tinkering is the value. That's the whole point. But for people running a business, this takes and customers and not enough time, to live in this layer, the answer is different. You wouldn't want $20 marketplace agent running customer transactions any more than you'd want one running your accounting. You want it built properly by someone who knows what they're doing. And the gap between those two, the personal, sovereign tinkerer layer and the production layer, this is where the most confusion lives. And you'll see it everywhere with AI. People prompt, as an example, to Claude Code, Codex, Gemini, or to build a website. They get something that looks like a website, looks really nice, like actually looks nice. And they're so impressed by the appearance that they will, go in and show it to people. And when someone points out the build technically doesn't work, that the architecture is wrong, people that know what they're doing, that it fails over the moment the real user touches it, those people are becoming defensive because the picture looks nice. And no one really knows that there are all these layers behind. And I think this is the big illusion that AI throws onto everyone, puts this veil that it just click, 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 and nothing else there. So the same pattern with the $20 agent you can spin up on a marketplace. They look deployable, they look real, but they are not. You really need to know how to make them real. And I love how Karpathy said that AI raises the floor for everyone, but it also raises the ceiling for software developers. All those people that didn't know how to use tech or computers now can do a lot of different things. But I think the main thing is you need to make sure you're not getting confused that because you now know how to do this, you're at the same level as the developers or other people that were a long time in it. because they know the fundamentals. They know all these layers, and now they architect. They, do more of orchestration of the intelligence. So the defensiveness about the appearance, that's what's missing the actual shift. Going back to the website building example that I said. The thing that was sold isn't the thing. The thing is the layer underneath. And that layer is what makes a difference between something you can show off and something you can actually ship into production with real customers, depending on it. And this is the gap I want to spend more time moving forward, because I really want to show people that don't be fooled because you're losing time. Something else can, happen. God forbids that you will design it badly and things will go sideways. But before we go anywhere further, what I will say is this. I'm going to be, keeping filming what I'm working through. Some of it will be personal layer, what I'm building for myself, what's working, what's not. Most of it eventually will be the layer underneath, the business grade version, the one most people don't see, the one that actually matters when something has to work. If this is a conversation you want to be in, hit subscribe, stick around, watch the builds we move. As always, the future is spicy and you have to learn how to love the heat. But you have to understand, the heat is this rapid development and rapid evolution of what's happening. It doesn't take that much more time anymore to move up and bring bigger possibilities. You really have to stay in it. You don't really need to be, doing everything, but at least understanding where things are going. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comment and I will try to answer everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.